Hello. Welcome to Car Expert YouTube channel. Ferrari has added a handling specially package to the new turbocharged California T's repertoire. Ferrari has left the core of the California T's engine untouched, so the 3.9-liter, twin-turbo V8 still has 557 pounds-to-foot of torque from 4,750 revolutions per minute and 553 horsepower at 7,500 revolutions per minute. Like on every California T, the engine's boost manager only lets you access 442 pounds-to-foot in the first 3 gears, with each successive gear unlocking a little more torque until you reach 7, where the maximum is available. This helps make the California T drivable and has the added benefit of flexibility once in the tall top gear. The exhaust note is different, too, with Ferrari fitting a pair of Helmholtz resonators to lift the sound by around 3 decibels across the rev range, but the engineers particularly focused on the engine speeds from 1,500 to 2,800 revolutions per minute, the moving through traffic bit they expect to be used on any given workday. The handling specialty's other massive tweak is the suspension. Its front springs are 16% stiffer and the rear springs are 19% firmer. The active magnetorheological dampers have been tuned to the new spring rates. There are a couple of tiny exterior design fiddles like a change in grille color to mark the handling specially out to the typhusy. The Cali T's cabin is a comforting and elevating place to soak up miles in. The small, unintended curves and warbles in the leather stitching show clearly that it's done by hand, but the leather is beautifully soft and the carpet is cosseted. There is the same carbon fiber arch over the center console's bits and pieces tray, and it's just a lovely piece of design, holding the buttons for the automatic mode and the hazard lights, among others. The only downside is that it feels like the noise production system is just hitting its stride when the shift lights at the top of the steering wheel come on and demand another gear. That, and almost all of its noise is generated by the exhaust. You can't hear the front-mounted engine's exertions at all. No intake sound, no mechanical clatter, nothing. Just some steering pump whine now and again. The transmission is, by way of compensation, quite unmistakably faster. Up, down, whatever. It's incandescently quick, a mechanical transaction that's now so utterly brief that you think you might want another gear, and your fingers have twitched it into existence before your synapses can possibly have fired the instruction to them. It's all a lot more complex and engaging than that, though. Anybody could have made it faster. It's fun enough on hard acceleration, where you pull the next gear without lifting off the gas and the Ferrari delivers a sharply delineated crack in the soundtrack. There's barely a ripple of vibration or jolt through the cabin, and the exhaust note sounds a bit deeper and richer with each passing gear. The noise is one thing, but Ferrari is really pushing the added handling prowess, and it's right to, but the engineers are not telling the whole story. Up in the mountains, the car's handling was sure-footed, sharp, crisp, and aggressive, and its grip levels and balance were nice and clean. But it never quite reached the levels we were expecting. There was nothing scary about it, but we'd hoped for a better pull out of corners and wanted its understeer limits pushed further north. Don't read that to be a negative, because both of those things occurred at ferociously high speeds in real terms. We just expected it to give a little more. We found that missing something by pushing the car's bumpy road button. That transformed it into the car we always hoped it might be. First suggested by Michael Schumacher for the 430 Scuderia, the bumpy road button keeps the damper rebound settings soft even in the car's sportiest powertrain and skid control modes. Push it and the handling specially shines. It should be thought of as the default setting for anybody who ever drives or owns one. The car might not feel as pointy or sharp, but it does everything better this way. The balance seems to shift further rearward, making the car handle more neutrally mid-corner and, especially, from the point where the driver picks up the throttle again. It lets the tires keep hugging the tarmac, where they just marginally, but frequently, bounce out of contact if the dampers are left to full Manettino control. It works wonders elsewhere in the car, too, making the lightly weighted steering feel much calmer. And it delivers unprecedented confidence to push it in the first half of corners, letting the car carry more speed and showing off the new spring balance to its best effect. It goes from being a car that runs out of grip at the front to a car that feels like it will never run out of grip at all. Even when it does, it's so progressive and positive that even the moderately skilled will easily haul it back into the safe zone, even with its skid control system switched off. Moreover, while the softer damping trick works well on smooth roads, it's more impressive the rougher the road surface becomes.